Taylor, is it really true that John's condition has gotten even worse now? I heard that things have only gotten worse, so I needed to make sure that it was true. He has gotten worse. This weekend he had to be taken into the ICU for his health. But right now he's doing a lot better again and has been moved back into his room to be looked after. As of right now, he's even able to have small conversations again. What? He was able to make a comeback from that? Huh? I'm really happy to see he's made a comeback. Same here. But it's going to be some time before there's any hope of him getting out of here. Do you think you have any time this weekend to come in and see him? He would like to see all of his grandkids. I'm sure that would make my dad really happy seeing you all, and it might even make him recover even more quickly. I don't want to go see him. Hospitals have this smell to them that makes me feel sick, so it's not going to happen. What? Also, for people like him being that sick, they tend to get really thin because they can't eat as much anymore, and that's just scary to me. If I were to show the kids their grandpa while he's in that state, they might be traumatized for the rest of their life. So that's what this is about. Then how about just you and your husband come to see John this weekend? Just come in for a few minutes to see and talk to him, and that should be enough. Even the doctor is saying that would be really good for John to see some of his family soon. No way am I going there. I hate going to the hospital, and Greg is really busy with his job right now. We don't have the time or want to go and see John at the hospital right now. Are you sure? Also, there's the whole thing with his health getting even worse recently, so perhaps it's time we start preparing for the worst. Do you have any idea where John's bank information and checkbook might be? Do you know how much money he's ready to be given away as inheritance? And do you know how much he has in terms of stocks right now? What? He's going to be kicking the can pretty soon here, so it's best we start preparing for his inheritance to come through. I'm sure he's totally fine just having you at the hospital watching over him, so you can continue doing that if you want. I'll manage everything that has to do with his money and properties, all right? Don't say something so messed up as that, Brinley. What do you mean he's going to be kicking the can soon anyway? Right now, your father-in-law is trying his best to fight through this sickness. He is going to make it through this and come back home to see everyone really soon. So would you quit talking about how he's going to die like that? I understand how you want to feel about all of this, I really do. But I think it's best that we prepare for the worst, just in case. We wouldn't want to be wasting our time later on with all this when we'll want to be focused on mourning him, right? You stop all that right now. There's no point in dealing with any of his money right now anyway, right? You're too busy to come and see him in the hospital, so you must be too busy to deal with any of that right now. So leave all of this talk about his inheritance be. Greg, where are you right now? I have been telling you to come to the hospital as quickly as you can. Your dad has finally gotten out of this hospital, but as soon as we got him home, he collapsed again.
Do you have any idea what time it is? I get that it's an emergency for you, but come on, it's 3 a.m. for me. Once I've gotten my beauty sleep, I'll come to the hospital. I'm sure it's just the same old thing with him anyway, and he'll be around for me still when I get up. Once things are all handled over there and I'm awake from my sleep, I'll be over there.
I'm not messing around right now, Greg. You get your butt in here right now and see your dad. He is not doing well at all, and his breathing is getting really shallow. I think this might be it for him.
What?
So please hurry up and get to the hospital. This is not the time for you to be sleeping, all right? This might just be your last chance to ever talk to your dad again.
Are you kidding me? In other words, this means my time has come as well.
Excuse me?
Nothing, Mum. Don't worry about it. I'll be on my way to the hospital right now. I'm going out to the car right now, so just wait for me a little longer.
Hey, Brinley, what the heck do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing kicking me out of there like that? The funeral is going to be starting really soon, you know? Hurry up and let me back into the building right now. I'm sorry, Taylor. There is a lot of appeal in this funeral for your son and I, so can you please just shut up and go home? Greg and I are going to be handling everything from now on, so you can go back home and mourn your husband in silence. Also, you happen to be in our way today, so please just get lost. I'm in the way. What the hell are you and Greg planning to do today with me not at my husband's funeral? I understand that Greg is the oldest of my kids, but he does not get to make the rules like that. Especially when he has no idea who all is going to be there for the funeral today. I'm sure he has an idea of what to expect, so don't worry about him. What? And what is this about today having a big appeal to the both of you? Do you both not understand that today is the funeral of my husband? Your guys' father? And I'm saying that because of that, today will have a lot of appeal to it. The CEO of the company has passed away, so now it's time for his oldest son, Greg, to take the reins and run the company. In other words, today is the day for him to make a name for himself. Huh? Of course, there will be plenty of other family members here today, but there's also going to be all sorts of bigwigs from all kinds of companies here to mourn your husband. So this is Greg's chance to make himself look good to all of them and secure his future as the next CEO. And standing next to him today will be me, the CEO's wife. I'm so glad on a day like today, both Greg and I went to the salon before this and got ourselves looking all sharp and ready for what we have to show off today. So this is what you've both been waiting for all along? You both even went to the salon together before this and got your hair done and everything? Would you please cut the crap right now, Brinley? The point of this funeral is to mourn the loss of my husband. It is not a place for you and Greg to be showing off and trying to make yourselves look good for the business. I have no idea what's gotten into the both of you thinking this funeral is meant to be a place where you need to appeal to all of those other company men. And the fact that Greg said it's his time as well now? Please do not ruin my husband's funeral like this just for your guys' selfish desires. The only person here that needs to cut the crap is you, Taylor. Your husband just died on us, and the next person in power is going to be your oldest son, Greg. Do you really think it's okay for you to be talking to the most powerful man in this family's wife like that right now? Huh? I totally understand that you still have a lot of emotions flowing through you as your husband only just passed away. But could you please pull yourself back to reality for me? After your husband's gone, it's the oldest son's turn. And since that's just happened, you are no longer the queen of the family. All you are now is some powerless old woman that we could honestly do better off without. Excuse me? I'm sure the only reason you have all that confidence in yourself right now is due to the power that your husband gave you. But those days are over for you now, so please give it up and let us take the wheel. Your days of being the ruler in the family and telling me what to do have died along with your husband's days of being the CEO. And since when have I been telling you what to do, Brinley? Huh? Tell me when you haven't been. How about that? Telling me to come see your husband as he was dying, even though I don't care for him, and telling me to bring my kids along to see him, even though his sickly body would have scared the crap out of them. Seriously, every time you tried telling me to do things, it really pissed me off. It's a waste of time to go out and see some old geezer that's about to die. Why would I ever want to do that? Did you really think that by having Greg and I there to talk to him and see him with you, he'd start to recover from whatever BS sickness he had? What the hell do you think you're saying right now? What do I think I'm saying? Well, I'll tell you. But not with words. You'll just have to wait and see, because right now I can't handle you in that attitude anymore. The funeral's about to start soon as well, so I don't have time to waste on you. I know we were just getting to the good stuff, but that'll have to wait. I'm finally going to be the wife of a CEO, and I can't believe just how much I am smiling at a funeral. What? The wife of a CEO? That's right. Remember that since now your husband is dead, he's going to be leaving a lot of money behind for us. So we're going to be taking all of that money and everything, as well as taking over the company he's left for Greg. I thought that was pretty clear to you already, though. But anyway, once he's the CEO, I'm going to be the CEO's wife, right? Did you know that ever since I was a little girl, I had always wanted to be the wife to some super wealthy CEO? So now that my dream is finally coming true for me, I just can't stop myself from smiling. I think I've had enough of you both. Especially you, though, Brinley. Kicking me out of the funeral and then taking it over as though it's meant to be about you both. And not just that, but now you think you have access to all my husband's money and his company, which has led you to grin like some maniac? You really are such a shameless woman. Well now, I'm going to have to hide this smile for the time being and put on a more serious and saddened face to trick the masses. It would be pretty wrong for me to be smiling at a funeral of all places, right? Well, you've been pretty messed up this whole time, so why hide it at all? I'm trying to text Greg right now, but he seems to be ignoring me. For some reason, I'm getting the feeling that all this isn't going to play out in your guys' favor, though. Now, I'd like you to leave the premises at once and head back home with your mouth shut for us. The CEO of the company has struck out, and the next up to bat is his oldest son. And me being his wife means that I'll become the wife of a CEO. Greg isn't even a part of the company. What? Yet you still believe that he's going to be able to get into the company and become the CEO of it right away? You must be so excited about becoming the wife of a CEO that you totally forgot about common sense. I'm sorry, but the next CEO of the company has already been decided. And of course, since Greg hasn't been working for the company at all, he is not going to be the CEO. If you understand that now, I want you to open the door for me and let me back inside. What do you mean he's not been working for the company? Greg has told me that ever since he graduated from college, he's been working for his dad's company. And when was it that he told you that? It's been 3 years now since Greg was fired from his dad's company. Huh? He was fired? Yep. He was awful at all of the work he was left to do, and that really started to piss his dad off a lot. Of course, when he got fired, it was during a time where he was supposed to be taking care of a really important customer to the company. But he cried about having to do all that work and bolted from his responsibilities. That then pushed his dad over the edge, and he said he was no longer going to deal with Greg anymore. Although my husband's first thoughts were to make Greg the next CEO someday, those thoughts quickly disappeared, and the next thing he knew, he was firing Greg. What? Wait. I never heard anything about all those events. Also, Greg has been going to work like nothing's changed forever now. Perhaps right after being fired, he was able to find some other company that hired him. I'm not sure where he could be working now, but Greg is your guys' oldest son, right? And that means he should be the next in line to take on the company from your husband. Nope. John has made it very clear to everyone at the company that the next person to be the CEO will be his son, Marcus, Greg's little brother. John told everyone that he couldn't trust his oldest son with taking on the company, so he'd be letting his second oldest handle everything next. Huh? He's letting Marcus be the next CEO? And he told that to everyone in the company already? He even wrote that down in his will. What? You were the one that told me to start thinking about all of that while my husband was still in the hospital, right? About things like his inheritance and properties? I took that as meaning I did need to get on top of some of those things, so I went and started talking to John about everything he would be leaving behind. Also, when he was out of the hospital for a day, he got one of his lawyers to come over and we wrote a new will. And you're telling me that part of the will says for Marcus to take over the company next? Unlike his dad, Marcus is a very calm and composed man. But even so, he happens to be very good at doing business and has the proof to show for it. Even other employees within my husband's company say great things about how well he does his work. For a little while, he had only been working with his dad after Greg got fired, of course, and started learning what it means to lead a company. So this was always going to happen. Marcus becoming the next CEO. But just to make sure there'd be no hiccups, we wrote it down in John's will. You're lying. There's no way. The next CEO should be the oldest. And Greg is the oldest son to John. I've never even heard of an instance where the oldest was skipped and the next in line was given the company. Well, John had no other choice. His oldest was far less competent at his job than he had thought. Huh? I'm so happy that today Marcus wasn't able to make it to the funeral. I'm sure he feels bad about having to be in New York for a business trip and all right now, but at least he doesn't have to be here when his stupid older brother and moron sister-in-law are right now. I'm sure if he was, then things would only become more messy for him. There's no way this is happening. Even Greg was saying that his time had come to me. He was so freaking excited to be the next CEO of his dad's company. Well, I can go tell him the truth right now for you, so please let me inside the building. And honestly, I'm not going to worry too much about you both believing in a fairy tale because I want to focus on my husband's funeral. Everyone else is patiently waiting for the funeral to begin, so please let me in right now. Wait. Who cares about the funeral right now? Greg and I are far more important at the moment. This is about my dream, after all. Right now, that dream is in danger of never coming true for me. So this is not the time for people to be worried about someone who's already dead. Well, if that seems to be the case for you, then I want you to go home right now. I'm not holding back anymore. I am going to the front of the building right now, and I'll let the funeral director know that you no longer should be allowed in this funeral. Actually, I'll let them know that both you and my oldest son are not allowed in here. Then you both can be escorted out by them.
Mum, what is all this about? Why am I not allowed to become the next CEO? It's not too late to make me the CEO yet. Tell that Marcus to let me be the CEO right now.
That Marcus happens to be the man your dad chose to make the CEO. He said so in his will. So I'm not going to just ask Marcus to give up the role his late father asked him to be in.
The frickin' will? Who cares what Dad said? He's dead now. Why can't you just let me be the CEO? It's not like he'll ever know that I was made the CEO, right?
What are you talking about, Greg? I will not allow you to talk about your dad and his final words like that.
But what's going on here is stupid. I get that Dad fired me from the company in the past, but I just assumed that after Dad died, you'd be willing to let me back into his company. I've believed this whole time that you would understand that the role of CEO should be going to the oldest son next. You're screwed up, Mum.
I'm not the one that's screwed up. It's you and your wife that are. What the hell happened to telling your wife that you were fired 3 years ago? Why were you trying to hide all of that from her?
I wasn't trying to hide anything from her. I just got lucky and made the money we needed from some slot machines.
Slot machines? In other words, you gambled for the money you needed? Hold it right there. So you're telling me that you didn't even end up getting hired by another company after being fired? What the hell have you been doing ever since your dad fired you?
I gave up on working and have been making all the money I need from slot machines. I've been on a massive winning streak for a while now, so I brought in more than enough money to support both myself and Bryn Lee.
You are a dad, Greg. You have children. And yet you're telling me that this whole time you've been risking your whole family's future on some slot machines? What the hell have you been thinking?
I thought that after Dad died, I'd be able to get back to work for his company. Hell, I thought I'd be back in his company long before he died. I thought me trying to act all sad and depressed around him would get him to hire me back because he felt bad. Yet for the past few years, he never talked to me, so I never had a chance to lie to him about how I was feeling. This year, he decided to get sick. It's not my fault that I had to continue gambling while Dad was fooling around by not ever talking to me and then getting deathly ill.
For Christ's sake.
Yet now I have to sit here listening to you telling me that Marcus is getting the company. If that's how things are going to be, then who cares about that stupid company? Just give me the dang money he's left for me, and I'll shut up about everything. I'll make sure to use all the money I'm getting to continue my winning streak at the casino. Did you know that I've started to go into debt waiting for Dad to get back to me about letting me work for him again? I've had to take out loans in order to keep playing the slots. If I don't start breaking even here, things are going to become really bad for me.
You've been taking out loans now?
I'm sure that Dad has loads of money in his savings that will be coming to me, right? Yeah, half will be going to you, of course, but the other half will be for his sons. But Marcus is going to be getting the company, so you can give my part and his to me. He's not going to need any of that money, right? So give me the money, and while you're at it, give me whatever stocks he has as well, right?
Greg, I have some very bad news for you. Your dad doesn't actually have all that much money left after he passed away.
Huh? What the hell are you saying, Mum? There's no way he doesn't have tons of money still. He was the one that built that company and has been the CEO of it for over 40 years. You both happen to have that massive house, and he has multiple other properties. And what about all those high-end cars he drives? How the hell are you able to tell me he doesn't have much of anything when he's got all of that?
I'm sure you knew about how your dad ran his company all by himself, right? And of course he has a lot of land and some pretty nice cars that he drove around a lot when he was younger. But over time he's been putting all those things into his company, and now the cars and land are considered company assets. He left me with enough money to keep me happy, but the rest has all been put into the company and is not included in the will.
Huh? Then, what's going to happen with all the money I owe? I thought Dad would have hundreds of thousands to give to me after he died. I just assumed that I'd be able to pay off all the loans after he died and be able to play more slots without going into any more debt. I thought this would be it for me, and I'd never have to worry about going into debt or having to work a job again.
You can think about what you need to do next by yourself. If you can't find a way to help your family by yourself, then you open up to Brinley about the whole truth and have her help you. And as for that debt, well, you were the one that got yourself into that mess, so you're going to have to try something in order to pay it all off. I might be getting a lot of money from your dad, but it's only enough to keep myself happy through my later years. I have something I really need to ask from you, Taylor. Can you please make Greg the CEO of the company? I'm sure that everyone within that company, as well as all the customers, want him to be the next CEO. I know for a fact if you don't make the oldest son the next CEO, then you'll be making the whole company look bad. Well, listen to this, Brinley. All of the employees within the company, as well as all the other businesses that are customers to it, have asked for Marcus to be the CEO. He's already been around all of them for years now, and every single person trusts that Marcus can get the job done right. But there is one very important problem with Marcus. He isn't even married yet, so what's going to happen to the company after he's passed away or retires? That's why, right now, you need to take this moment and make Greg the CEO of that company before it's too late. Huh? You're worried about what happens to the company after Marcus? I'm sure that Marcus might be good at the work he does, but he doesn't have a woman, and it seems like he never will. As far as I'm aware, he's never even had a girlfriend before, right? So there's no hope for him ever getting married now. And that means he's never going to have any kids who will be around to take on the company after him. But when it comes to your oldest son and his wife, they happen to have a really, really cute little boy, right? If you make Greg the CEO of the company right now, then there's hope that the company will continue on in this family's history. So you're trying to use your own son as a way of getting the company? Well, Brinley, did you know that you have no voice in telling Marcus who he can and can't choose as the next CEO of the company? He doesn't have to give it to anyone in the family next. He has every right to pass it on to one of his best employees, or he might even want to sell the company to someone else. So, nobody, not myself, nor you, nor Greg, has any right telling him what to do with the company when he retires. I probably won't even be around by that point, so there's nothing I can do about it. No way! I've heard about the debt your husband is in right now. I understand that you and him are trying to do everything you can to get any money left by my husband, but you need to give up. Don't tell us to give up like that. It's not as simple as you might think. Right now, our lives are on the line. Right now, Greg is in debt $30,000 to loan sharks. Really? That much? You have to do something to help us pay all of it off. This is your son's debt we're talking about. Also, I happen to be suffering a lot because of it, so as my mother-in-law, you need to help me, please. You shut the hell up right now, you complaining witch. You are both frickin' adults now with children and need to learn how to take responsibility for yourselves. I don't give a crap about that guy's debt, and I never will. Also, he happens to be your husband, so do your dang job and support him through this tough time. Back when my husband was building his company, he got into $100,000 worth of loans, and we worked together to pay all that off. So you can handle $30,000, you baby. You might have been able to handle all that, but I can't. I might be his wife, but I just can't. Then go ahead and divorce the sad loser. It's your frickin' life after all, so you decide what you want with it. Now that's it from me. I can sympathize with all the crap you're going through right now, but you have to take responsibility for it and handle it. But wait, Taylor. Are you going to leave the both of us? Aren't you going to help us out at least a little? You know dang well I'm leaving you both. I hate you guys with every bit of my heart. What? You tried to kick me out of my husband's funeral. You then went around smiling about the fact that you could use his funeral to make yourselves look good. I don't plan on ever forgiving either one of you for something as cruel as that. Yet now you're asking for my help? Absolutely not. No, wait, Taylor, that was, No, I'm going now. I don't hold any of this against my little grandkids you've given to me, but you and Greg deserve to receive all of my hate. So I really hope that you two can figure something out, for their sakes. And after that, those two idiots went to Marcus begging for him to help them on their hands and knees while they both sobbed and sobbed. So, being the kind and reserved man that he is, Marcus went and brought them into one of the factories he started to run. At first, both Greg and Brinley weren't given a very good wage or much time off from work, and they complained about it a lot. Greg would even take it up to the factory's manager at times and say that he was the brother of the CEO and deserved better. To which the manager would reply saying that the CEO gave him permission to fire those two at any time he wanted. After saying that, Greg never once complained about the job again, and both he and Brinley have continued their work in that factory. According to some rumors, that manager actually went to school with Brinley, where she would bully him all the time. So who's to say for sure what kind of hell he's putting her through right now there? Well, as for the time being, those two idiots are going to be sweating their butts off for years to come, trying to make whatever money they can in order to pay off Greg's debt.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Nick, where are you at? Hurry up and get to the hospital, please. You should have gotten a call from the hospital saying that Mom just had to get rushed to the emergency room, right?
Shut up, Taylor. Even if she had to go to the emergency room, all she did was fall down a couple of stairs and hurt her legs. Is there really even a reason to go to a hospital for something like that? Besides, I'm busy dealing with my job.
She hit her head really hard on the ground, and at the moment, she still hasn't come to. You need to be more worried about your own mother's condition over a day at work.
Huh? I need to be?
I think you don't realize just how bad she hit her head on the ground, Nick. The doctor even told us that with how bad the injury is, she may be in a coma for some time from it.
Are you serious? Is it that bad of an injury then? That means right now is the perfect chance. I can finally come back home and get all the money I want out of Mom's bank account.
Excuse me?
Recently, I asked Mom to let me borrow some money from her, but when she replied to me, she was super upset to hear me ask that. She told me that she had no more money for me to have, and then sent me out of her house. But I have to make sure that I have money myself in case of emergencies, right? So I think I'll head back over there after work and take her checkbook and make a few transfers. And if by the off chance Mom does end up waking up from that coma, you go ahead and tell her what's gone on since she fell.
I can't believe you right now. Right now, when Mom needs us most, you're going to take her checkbook and run?
Well, I'm in a bit of a predicament myself over here. It seems that the company that finally got on its feet is now at risk of going back under again. So if I can use her money to help it out of the hole, it should be able to run itself again. And so in times like this, I have to borrow some kind of money from Mom.
How many times now has it been that your company has been close to going bankrupt? You used that same reasoning last year to take over $10,000 from Mom without ever giving anything back to her.
Having to run your own company is a really difficult job. But I'm sure that some old office lady would never be able to understand those sort of struggles, huh? In my case, even when taking huge risks like I have to make sure that I win so that I can get a lot more cash at the end of the year.
What the hell? You're nothing more than a simple business owner. Yet you think you can act like you run the country because of that?
What did you say?
I know about you, Nick. I know about how you will go out and use your status as a business owner and the CEO of that company to get whatever you want. Like how you'll go out with others every night to go drinking and will charge it all to your business. Maybe because you think that you can get away with having your company pay for you, your company is going back under again.
And what would a simpleton like you know about the business world? I am a genius when it comes to this kind of complex world. I'm probably one of the most important men just in this city.
Well, if that's the case, then there's no reason to have Mom be the one paying for everything. You've already caused her enough troubles in the past, and all that just to become an egotistical jerk. You're not even willing to come and see Mom now when she's in the hospital. After all the help and support she's given you, the least you can do is come here and show your love and thanks for her.
It's because of her taking good care of me that I'm not going to come there. But that last time when I expected her help, she just got upset with me instead. So me coming now would only make her blood pressure rise from the anger she holds for me now. And I might end up killing her by accident. So me not going to that hospital to see her is all so that she doesn't have to be upset with me.
So that means you're just allowed to waltz into her house then when nobody's home and take her checkbook? If you want to help her by not making her upset, then how could taking more of her money help? She might just end up passing out again at that point.
And to make sure that doesn't happen, I'm making sure you're there to keep her under control. Now, I have a checkbook to grab. If she's okay when she wakes up, tell her that once my company comes around this time, I'll make sure to pay her back. Maybe.
What kind of a horrible person are you? Not even coming to give your own mother a farewell at her funeral? I never thought that my boyfriend's little sister could be this much of a scummy waste. Well, now when him and I get married, I am never going to even bother to get close to you. Huh? I heard all about what's happened from Nick about you and him. But the fact that you'd actually act this crazy is beyond me. You have no right to be absent during your mother's funeral, you jerk. I'm sorry to have to ask this, but who is this? Are you sure you don't have the wrong number or something? I know for a fact that this is the right number. I'm sending all of these messages to Nick's little sister right now. But just to keep you from becoming too confused, my name is Janice, and I'm Nick's fiancé. And I was expecting to become your sister-in-law here soon, but now I'm thinking twice about ever coming near you. What? My brother's fiancé? Nick had never spoken to you about anything to do with me and how we planned to get married. He actually told me to never even speak to you. But to just leave someone that never went to their parents' funeral alone, I just can't do that. And so that's why I decided to text you so that you can have the gift of listening to me complain about you. Can you slow down for just a second? I'm having a bit of trouble understanding what's all going on here, but I'd like to know what you're talking about when you say that I was absent from my mom's funeral. You can't be serious. Do you really think you can play dumb now? Especially when your mother only just passed away a little bit ago? What? I've heard all about you from Nick. He's always gone on about how ever since you were little, you've been the most selfish person he's known. How if you're not number one, you'll never let things rest. And because of that reason there, he's always had to work so hard and fight for some sort of success. And it's even because of you that he wasn't able to get the education he wanted because he could never make it to the college of his liking. What are you going on about? And when it came to your guys' parents, they always favored you over him. It's because of that that when your dad passed away, you did nothing to help out with the family. And when your mother ended up unconscious, you didn't do a dang thing and had to ask that your brother handle everything. And it seems that even after your own mother finally passed away from those accidents, you didn't even bother showing to her funeral. Can you please stop talking for a second? What the hell are you talking about? All of that sounds like some bullcrap to me. What about any of this is bullcrap to you, you little piece of crap? After doing absolutely nothing for your family, you want to come and get the money left over, don't you? I bet you've even gone and taken what was supposed to be left for Nick so that he doesn't get a dime. Huh? Why the hell are you such a greedy witch? There's no reason you should be allowed to take all your parents' money when you already took so much from Nick. We'll make sure that all that money from your dead mother goes to us. So give us everything you took from her right now. You can say all you want about me, but, I think you have a ton of misunderstandings right now. And it seems that my brother got the best of you by telling you all sorts of stories that make him look as though he suffered. The only one that ended up getting everything they wanted was you. And now you're acting as though you don't know anything about Nick. You left all the care that needed to be done for your mother to Nick, and you never even showed up to her funeral. Yet now you think it's okay to have all her money? That must explain why at your age, you're still single and alone. You are the worst. Huh? Your parents ended up spoiling you too much, and now you can't even find a man to put up with your needs. But I have to say, most men don't like being together with a spoiled brat. And since you're so spoiled, you wouldn't need a man anyway, would you? Who are you calling a spoiled brat? Jeez, just when I was getting away with being able to marry a business owner and everything, his mother had to pass away. The whole time we were supposed to be getting the wedding together, he had to care for her and such before she passed. And so the only thing that kept me going with him was knowing that one day, his mother's money would come to us. But now I have to live with the fact that all the money I had hoped for is being stolen by his little brat sister. I am never going to forgive you for that. You really love to just spew crap from that mouth of yours, huh? Do you think you can listen to what I have to say? Shut up, you ugly witch! You're the worst thing to happen to the family. Hurry up and give me my money. I'm going to be the wife of a CEO, and so that means I should be getting all the money from his mother. So that money is mine and my man's. Huh? You're worthless as anyone's daughter if you can't even make it to your own mom's funeral. You have no right to her money. So you give all of it to us. My mom passed away 7 years ago. What? You never bothered to listen to what I had to say, so I'll tell you again. My mom died 7 years ago. Yet you want me to give you all her money now? And you think I don't have any right to her money? You've been going on about such nonsense for almost 30 minutes now, so could you stop that? You're the one that's been speaking nonsense. What the hell do you mean she passed away 7 years ago? Your mom only just passed away last week, right? I'm not sure what all my older brother has told you, but our mom passed away 7 years ago. And the one that ended up caring for her before she passed was me. And the one that put the whole funeral together was also me. Actually, my pile of crap brother never even once talked to me after that, and he didn't do a thing to help with the setup. Huh? He said that I'm a selfish little sister, did he? And that's the reason he could never do anything about me? I'm sorry, but everything he's told you and you've told me is the complete opposite from the truth. The only one that ended up being super selfish was my brother, Nick. And the one who never got to study or go to the college of their choice was me. And the reason for that is because my brother would always take loads of money from my parents without ever paying either one back. What? Well, even if I tell you all of this now, I'm sure that it's all really difficult for you to believe right now, right? I can already tell that you've been deceived by my brother for so long that all of this is lies to you. That's right. I can't believe a dang thing you're saying right now. Well, then go back and ask my brother about all of this again. Ask him how exactly my mom died. And also ask him what kind of funeral he gave for her. I'm sure that he won't be able to give you a good answer to either of those two questions.
Taylor, hey! Listen, do you think you can read the atmosphere a little here? Why the hell were you telling her the truth about everything? Couldn't you have just let her have a moment of yelling at you and then moved on from there?
I was just finally starting to relax again, and now you're here. What do you want? And also, can you please thank me for what I did? I made sure to take time out of my day to correct all the bull crap you told Janice.
What do you mean, bull crap? I had to explain what happened with me as well.
Huh? What situation are you talking about?
Well, I have finally gotten my company to steady out, and I now have myself a girlfriend. But she keeps nagging me, asking me to get married as soon as possible. I had only just gotten engaged to her, but she kept asking me to meet my mother and all that. I had a lot of things happen to me, so I wasn't able to make it back to Mom's house easily, right? So I told her that my mother had fallen, and a lot of things happened since then.
And so after that, you told her that Mom had passed away and all that other crap?
I had no other choice, Taylor! She told me that she can't meet my mom, to at least let me go and see others in my family. And so I chose to tell her that Mom passed away out of nowhere. And by telling her that you're a terrible sister and shouldn't be messed with, she would not bother asking to meet you. At least I thought she'd stay away from you.
So you just couldn't stop yourself from telling lie after lie, and now your whole life story is a lie. So it's all because of you that she thinks I'm some kind of mentally screwed up sister? A person that I don't even know about just randomly started texting me, calling me a witch and ugly and all that. Why do I have to be the one that has to deal with this crap now?
Well, that's what I'm wondering myself. Perhaps if you were just a bit nicer of a little sister, I could have gotten away with all the lies I told Janice. Why, though? Why would you tell her that Mom passed away 7 years ago? Now you've gone ahead and made her doubt some of what I said.
Huh? You shouldn't have been lying to her about that sort of stuff in the first place. But at this point, I'm not even sure what you should have done since you seem so freaking toxic right now. You know that your mom passed away 7 years ago, and she should have known as well.
Huh? Wait, so she seriously did pass away? Wait, are you actually being serious about that?
You remember how she fell down the stairs and slammed her head on the ground, right? Well, in the end, she never did come out of that coma, and did pass away.
What?
But during that whole time, you just left me to watch over her while you took her checkbook and ran. I tried my best to contact you over and over again to tell you that she had died. But you never once replied to me or answered my calls, leaving yourself in the dark about everything.
So back when you were calling me like 10 to 11 times a day, it was because Mom passing away? I just assumed that it was Mom trying to yell at me after she woke up from her coma or something. I knew that she'd be pissed after hearing that I took her checkbook, and so I just wanted to run away and ignore her.
And what you did back then will never be forgiven. You went and caused trouble for her all the way to her very last breath. And then when we had her funeral, you never bothered showing up for that. Back then, I had never wanted to think about you as my brother, but my, what good timing. I never knew all of that was just you ignoring me that whole time, thinking that you could just stay away hidden from Mom or something. Luckily now, I'll finally be able to get all that money of hers that you used back from you.
Wait, get that money back?
Mom had kept a record of all the money she lended you back in the day. But now that she's gone, I'll take her place and gladly accept all that money back for her. And after taking a good look at it all, you owe me $300,000. I want all of that back and all in one payment.
What?
Well, if your company is going steady now, then you shouldn't have a problem giving me that money, right? Now, good luck getting all that money prepared for me. Taylor, I am so sorry for the huge misunderstanding yesterday. I happened to get pretty upset with you for a second there. You have that right. For that short amount of time, you blamed me for everything that happened and acted as though I was the one lying to you about it all. Calling me a witch, ugly, and selfish like you knew me well enough for that. You really had quite the colorful tongue then. That was a bit much from me. Well, now none of that really matters to me. I no longer have any intention of being around you guys. And so if you still feel happy to be with that pile of crap, then go ahead and marry him. But that's what I want to talk about. I think that I've actually rethought wanting to marry him. So I've been wondering if you could tell me the truth about his company as well for me? Huh? I tried asking him if there was any other things he lied about to make himself look good for me. But he ended up saying that there was nothing else that was a lie, yet I still don't believe any of that. And when I went and searched through his room for any obvious things, I found some papers relating to his company. So I wanted to see if you knew anything about that. I have no idea what's going on with my brother's company since it's been 7 years since we last talked. But I will say that when he first started up that company, he had multiple times where it almost went bankrupt. And when that would happen, he'd run home to us crying and ask for some money. However, the last time that happened was when my mom was in the hospital before her death. And instead of coming in to see her, he ran to the house and stole her checkbook. Altogether, though, my mom had given him over $300,000 to help keep his company going. Over $300,000? And you're saying that when your mom was dying, he went and stole her checkbook before running? And now I plan to get all that money he took from her back. I'm not quite sure how his company is doing now and all, but I am going to make sure that every penny he took is back with me. Could this possibly mean that Nick is kind of a scummy person? I think I really did make a mistake when choosing who I wanted to marry. Well, just to let you know, I plan to sue you as well, okay? Not only did you not have any idea who I was before talking to me, but you started off the conversation by verbally assaulting me for no good reason. That really caused me some trauma, and so I'll get with a lawyer to have a lawsuit made against you. What? But I was being played by your brother. I'm sure that you don't see it as too much of a problem, but to me, this is about my pride being hurt by you. For so long now, I've had a tough life due to Nick. And after having to deal with my past with him for years now, I was finally getting myself into a happy place. But right when everything was looking good for me, you came along and destroyed what I'd worked so hard for in one small set of text messages. And now, I can't just let you get away with doing that. Stop lying, okay? Stop all of that! I told you that your brother was the one that took advantage of me! Well then, how about instead of getting sued by me, you tell me the address that my brother is living at now? He had run long and far from me, and so for the past 7 years, I've never been able to find where he ran off to. But if you happen to, A, not tell me his address and keep going on like you're the victim, or B, tell him that I want his address and help him to run even further, I'll sue you for everything you have. Well, if that's the case, then I'll tell you. He has a company that's probably not even doing well right now anyway. No need for a man like that. I'll tell you whatever you want to know about him, so please don't sue me.
Hi, Taylor. I have something I'd like to ask from you, and that's... Will you give me a little money?
What?
I know that I told you that my company was running steadily not too long ago, but to be honest, there still seems to be a few setbacks.
Nice one asking me for more money after all that's happened.
But it's because of what's happened that I'm asking. The whole reason I had to cut ties for a long time was because I felt no use in being around all of you anymore. But knowing now that Mom ended up passing away, I never expected that to happen. Now that I'm back in touch with you and you're not too upset with me, I'm so happy. We don't have our parents around anymore, so it's just you and me now, right? So let's start helping each other out more so that we can both live a happy life.
Stop with all that bullcrap, man. I will never help you, Nick. Now that you have your answer, I'd like you to hurry up and give me all the money you owe Mom.
Hey, you don't have to be so rough like that. I'm telling you that once my company is back and steady, I can get you all that money.
But you've told that to Mom plenty of times, and yet here we are with you having to pay $300,000 to me.
But I promise that this next time I will get you that money back. If you don't want to help me out now, are you okay with me cutting ties with you again? If you allow that to happen, then I'll never be able to give you that money because you don't know where I'll be. You only have my phone number now, and that's not even close to enough for you to be able to find me.
I'm sorry, Nick, but I already know everything about you now. Where your house is, where your company is located, everything. I know about your friends that you go out drinking with. I know all the customers that buy from your company. Everything.
Huh?
And now that I have all of this information, I can bring my lawyer along to make sure that all of that money does indeed come back to me.
Lawyer?
Well, I never was spoiled as much as you were by Mom and Dad. They would never let me run away from them like you always did, but unlike them, I'll never let you run from me. I'll make sure that after this you give me anything you can to make up that $300,000.
Hey, hold on! You can't just get a lawyer to come after your own brother.
And why can't I? You're practically a criminal at this point. You would always say some crap to Mom to get her money and then never give anything back to her even though you said you would. And that's why you ended up staying away from her even when she was on her deathbed. Not to mention the actual crime in all of this. You stealing her checkbook? Well, I'm going to take all of this very seriously, so you'd best be ready. I was able to get in touch with an excellent lawyer, and with the help of them, I was able to get all that money back from my brother. And due to this, the company he ran instantly went bankrupt. But just before anything could happen to it, it was sold by him, but he only made out with a small amount of pocket change. After what had happened, he is now left with over $1 million in debt to both the bank and other loan agencies. So, to start putting any sort of dent, or I guess in this case, scratch, into that amount, he's picked up a part-time job. And as for the fiancée of Nick, Janice, she was just getting to the point where she was going to leave him and give the engagement ring back to him when she realized she was pregnant. Unfortunately, this left her with no other choice, and she married my brother. But to all those around her, they still had no clue of what happened, so she keeps a face on for them to assure them all that she is still married to a CEO and will someday make it big. And when anyone she does know sees her working her part-time job at the local diner, she tells them it was her husband that owned the place. I guess those two really did turn out to be just like the other, lying their way into the illusion that they are living the dream.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Megan, it's been such a long time since we last talked. Well, today I have something I'd like to ask you. Do you think you can call me?
Huh? Anita? It's been so long. I think the last time we saw one another was at that high school reunion a while back. Anyways, as for calling you, I'm on the road right now and can't call you to talk right now, but we can text one another still. Does that work for you?
Well, I guess it'll have to do. It was maybe a year ago we had that high school reunion, right? Why didn't you tell me about everything clearly back then?
Tell you everything clearly? What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb with me. At that time you were trying to play things off around me.
I'm sorry, Anita, but I'm not seeing where this is supposed to be going.
I'm talking about when we had that after party after the reunion. I got a message from your boyfriend. And he was talking about how he had plans for you and him to go to a restaurant for your birthday and that he had already reserved you guys' seats. You know about that, right?
Well, now that you mention it, he did take me out for my birthday. And what about that?
That dinner was when he proposed to you and everything, right?
Well, yeah, he did end up proposing to me on my birthday at the dinner. But why do you know all about that?
Well, I wanted to hear it from you that you're going to be marrying him. I heard about this already, but need to confirm.
How did you hear about all of that when I haven't even sent out the invitations yet or anything about us getting married?
Can you stop acting like I don't have my ways? Don't tell me that back then when he was talking about the birthday plans he had for you that he was bragging about proposing to you on that day. I bet that he was doing that because you asked him to as a way of rubbing your man in my face.
Hold on for 1 second, Anita. Why do you think I sent my boyfriend back to you to rub all that in your face? I never meant for anything like that at the party. Actually, at the party, he was just wanting to talk about his plans for me with other people to get their take on it. And I'm sure that it may have just come off as him bragging or myself bragging because he was explaining how happy he was to finally have a chance to propose to me.
Well, you planned all that out to make me jealous.
Why do you think either of us would be bragging in the first place about our relationship? I don't have any reason to be bragging to you or anyone for that matter.
Stop it with all that crap, Megan! I know everything about you and that boyfriend of yours. You stole my fiancé from me, Megan.
Huh? I stole your fiancé? Wait, I have zero idea of what you're getting at now.
You really are so naive. After I learned that you had stolen my fiancé, you still didn't even bother to recognize that and apologize to me. I told you, right? I know more than you think, and that my situation is a lot more complex than you think.
Can you explain to me what you mean by me having stolen your fiancé? I didn't even know that you had been engaged to anyone at that time.
The man that you're planning to marry is the man that I was destined to marry first.
What? You're joking about that, right? Because I remember at the reunion that you said you had a boyfriend of your own and that he was not my boyfriend, right? I mean, he couldn't have been my boyfriend because I've been together with him for 3 years now.
And you stabbed me in the back 3 years ago, you two!
I stabbed you in the back? I am so lost right now. Are you sure that you're not mistaking me and my man for some other couple? Like, you might have the wrong person here.
There's no way I have the wrong person. I have proof that you're with my fiancé from someone that was there with all of you when you guys began planning out the wedding.
What does that mean?
My mom works at that wedding hall. She isn't the one in charge of preparing your wedding, though. Back in high school, you would come over to my house, right?
Was that back when we had that Halloween party at school and after your family let me come over and stay the night?
Yes, and my mom remembered your face from that night. And recently, when she saw you at the wedding hall, she told me that she saw one of my friends there with my fiancé preparing their wedding.
So you're telling me your mom is the one that's witnessed me with your fiancé?
That's right. He is supposed to be my fiancé, yet right now it seems he's going to be marrying you. Why? You give my fiancé back to me right now.
What are you talking about?
Your man is a doctor, right? He's one because the rest of his family is doctors, right? Well, I want to marry him because if I can become his wife, I'll never have to worry about money again. So give me back my happiness.
He is, in fact, a doctor. Are you sure? Are you sure that my fiancé is supposed to be getting married to you?
I know that you're the one that's wanting to steal everything that makes me happy. I am not going to let you get away with this.
Wait a second, though. Can we wait until after you've calmed down and talk about all of this again? I need to talk with my fiancé about all of this as well. Do you think we can all go out and talk about this face-to-face somewhere? Anita?
This is the first time I've ever had to be the one to contact anyone like this. Anyway, I am Anita's mother.
Hello? Is there any reason for why I'm getting contacted by you right now instead of Anita?
Well, because of the current situation at hand right now after you stole my daughter's fiancé from her, I have to be here to talk with you. I have something I'd like to ask of you, and that's why I decided to text you right away instead of let Anita handle everything.
Wait a moment. I never planned to steal Anita's fiancé. And to tell you the truth, I talked with him about Anita and her story, but he told me he doesn't know anything about her.
That's not the case, Megan. I saw you with him very clearly. I saw you with her fiancé when the two of you came to the wedding hall to start planning you guys' wedding out.
Her fiancé? Are you sure that my fiancé doesn't just look similar to hers?
No way. He's definitely her fiancé. I don't remember what his first name is, but that last name of his is pretty rare. So I remember that. And on the day that you came to the wedding hall with him, I was able to see his last name on all the paperwork you both signed.
What? Both myself and my fiancé have no idea what you both are going on about. And for a long time now, I haven't even known that Anita was engaged to anyone yet.
At first, her and her fiancé had broken off wanting to get married.
They broke off getting married?
Anita didn't want to do that, but after talking about marriage and proposing to her, her fiancé later told her he was no longer wanting it. And after that, he stopped talking to her.
You're saying that a little bit after proposing to her, her boyfriend took it back and then left her? Did she actually get proposed to?
She did not. Not in the traditional way, that is. Anita just knew it was implied that he wanted her to be his wife. But now, after learning about you being with him, we understand why after talking about marriage with Anita, he backtracked and then left her. Both Anita and I both knew something was up when he did that to her, and that it wasn't because he didn't like Anita, but for some other reason.
Huh?
I have a reason to think that, right? I know that I'm her mother, but she is such a beautiful woman, Anita. There's no way a man would be leaving someone like her without some far more terrifying reason behind it. But now that I know what that reason is, I'm finally at peace.
That reason?
The reason being that you stole her fiancé from her, and that's why he was forced to break things off and go to you.
I did not steal any man from her.
Do you think you can give up on playing this game with us so that Anita can go back to being my happy baby girl?
What do you mean, give up on playing this game? Are you telling me to give up on wanting to marry my fiancé?
Well, isn't it strange to you that my beautiful girl cannot get married, but you of all people can? That man is supposed to be getting married to my daughter, Megan. His family is all full of doctors, right? If she is able to get with him and become his wife, my whole family will no longer have to worry about money anymore.
Wait, please. I'll tell you again, my fiancé does not know a thing about Anita. It's been 3 years now since we first started going out with one another. In other words, I know my fiancé very well, and he would never lie to me about having anything to do with Anita. And he would never be the kind of man to have 2 different relationships going on at the same time.
And that's because you had your way with him, right? Also that he would stop having relations with my daughter.
Can you please allow me to see Anita in person and talk all of this through properly?
You want to meet with Anita? Right now, that girl has been through so much after being stabbed in the back by both her friend and her fiancé that she's not even willing to go to work anymore. So stop trying to ask anything else of my daughter after all you've done to her!
But if we don't talk this over, then she's going to keep believing something that isn't true. And that will only lead to things becoming far worse between us down the road.
The fact is, you stole my daughter's fiancé from her and left her behind to have your way with her happiness. That's the truth. And I know all that to be true because I saw you with him at the wedding hall. Can I ask that you please stop hurting my daughter any more than you have already?
I am not trying to hurt your daughter in any way, though.
You're going to leave your fiancé so that my daughter can be happy again, right? And then I'm going to change your name on the wedding registry over to Anita and have that wedding you're planning out given to her.
What the hell are you talking about?
It's not only her that wants to be married to that man, but I want that as well for her. If she can become his wife, then even I will no longer have to worry about things like money and can have an early retirement. My husband passed away early, and so I feel that I'll never be able to get out of my line of work. I'm getting tired of having to work in this place, helping others have a happy marriage when I'm the one that wants to be happy for once.
So that's your reason for wanting to change my wedding and hand it over to your daughter, and then have my fiancé marry her during that wedding? That is going way too far.
If only I had just stayed quiet about you and him. Anita would have never been able to find out that you were with her man.
Well, too bad for you, Megan. She's so lucky that her mother works at that wedding hall.
Can you please let me talk with Anita? Right now, all I can see happening from what you plan to do is more than just my fiancé and I being hurt.
I told you, right? She is not willing to talk with anyone right now. She knows the truth about everything now, and I'm not going to let you hurt her anymore. You better be ready for the day that we get everything you stole from her back. We're going to make you pay for ever thinking it was okay to steal someone else's fiancé, someone else's wedding.
someone else's happiness.
Hold on, though, please. Hey?
Long time no see. Today is the perfect day for a wedding, right? The weather is just right and the sun is shining bright.
It's about time you replied to me. I haven't been able to get anything back from either you or your mother this whole time. I've only wanted for you and I to meet in person so that we can talk all this through in person, but now I'm stressed out because of you.
That's because my mom and I blocked you this whole time. But I thought that I'd unblock you today so that I could give you the news. Ha!
What news?
Someone has to be around to tell the backstabber the news, right?
What are you talking about, Anita?
I know about today, Megan. About how your wedding is supposed to be happening today. I know that because my mom was able to tell me.
How did she find out about the date? My fiancé worked so hard with the staff to make sure to keep all that information private from her and anyone else not related to the wedding. We even made sure to only work on the wedding on days that she wasn't at the hall. Yet, she still found out all the details?
Of course. And all I needed to know was the date of your wedding. Nothing else. Well, I also need to make sure that I'm there so that I can get into your wedding.
What are you thinking of doing?
I'm going to make sure that your wedding is a complete mess.
What? You plan to make my wedding a mess? You have to be joking now, right? If you plan on doing something like that to my wedding, then you're going to end up putting yourself into a bad position. What the heck is that?
That is the ashes of your wedding dress that I burnt up.
You burnt that dress? Like you actually went into the dressing room and burnt the dress yourselves?
My mom was able to get me into the dressing room while nobody was around, and we both worked to burn it to ashes. It was way too easy. A backstabber like you has no use for a dress like this, right? You are the one that stole my fiancé from me, so you deserve to have your dress destroyed. You're not going to complain about it, right? Your wedding's going to be freaking canceled now, you pile of trash.
But I'm already wearing my wedding dress.
Huh? You're wearing your wedding dress right now.
My wedding is starting here soon, and so I had to make sure that I was set for it all a while ago.
What? Wait. But I just burned your dress to a crisp, right?
Are you sure that's actually my dress, though?
Who else's dress would it be? My mom is the one that brought me to this room after all and helped me burn it, and she works here.
So you're telling me that you went into the dressing room with the help of your mom with the intent of burning my wedding dress?
This is my way of getting back at a backstabber like you.
Well, I'm not having my wedding in that wedding hall today.
Huh? What did you just say?
I didn't want to have my wedding at the place your mom worked, so we changed plans.
Wait a second. What do you mean by that?
We were worried by the fact that your mom works there and had a suspicion that she would do something that would cause our wedding to be ruined. So we worked with our specialist to have the wedding moved to a different location that's a part of the same company. Ah, that's right. We made sure to do all of this with the utmost secrecy so that your mom wouldn't be able to find anything else out about what we were doing. So she only knew about the plans we had made before we made changes.
You have to be kidding me. So, in other words, you're telling me that you're not here right now.
Well, that's right. And that also means that the dress I planned to wear today is not being kept there, nor is the dress I plan to wear for the party after.
So then who the hell's dress is this?
I have no clue. But that'd have to be the dress of whoever is planning on having their wedding there today, right?
So then your wedding isn't going to be canceled today, and you'll be able to get married to my fiancé?
Well, about that, Anita. After both your mom and you stopped replying to me, I looked a bit into you both and showed my fiancé. But he told me he had no clue who either of you are.
No matter what he says about us and what you showed him, you are the one that stole my fiancé from me.
Well, actually, that man that you had been dating for a while and then assumed you'd be getting married to before he left you and never replied to you again is someone that I've looked into as well.
You know about him because he's your fiancé.
He's my fiancé's cousin, Anita.
He's your fiancé's cousin? What? His cousin.
For a very long time, he and his cousin have both looked really identical to one another, so much so that even their moms get confused sometimes. And actually, I've met him once before as well, and they sure do look very similar to one another. But of course, if you look close enough at them, they have differences. And his cousin happens to be a bit older, 3 years in fact. However, my fiancé is the same age as you and I are. And if you watch them from afar like your mom did, they both have the same characteristics. I can see why she thought that he was your fiancé when she saw him a little while back.
So you're telling me that your fiancé and mine are both different people? But they are both still doctors, right?
You already know that, right? That both of them live in a family full of doctors?
Well, now that you mention it, you're right. So what you're saying is that this whole time it was all just a misunderstanding?
Well, when I spoke to my fiancé's cousin about you and him, he told me the reason for him leaving you is because after talking about marriage, he learned that you and him valued very different things. That's what led to him saying that you both should find other people.
We value different things? What about what I value is so wrong?
Well, he told me that if he had married you, then you asked him to come and live with you and your mom at her house.
Well, he should be doing that for us, right? I can't just leave my mom by herself to move out of the house and into a house of his own.
But to get to the hospital that he works at from your mom's house would take him over 4 hours a day round trip.
Well, that wouldn't matter to him because he'd have me as his wife and my mom as his in-law.
You also told him to hand over most of his earnings and make you his housewife so that you didn't have to work anymore. And you asked that he make sure to give you 5 kids. And of course, not just those things, but also that within a year of you guys getting married, that he remodels your mom's whole house into a place of your liking. The cost of all that being around $1.7 million.
Well, when you want the house to be all up to date with all the newest systems, as well as have all the smart home features on the market, the price will be that high.
You asked to make sure that the house was made into a place where you didn't even have to put any effort into the chores. Even saying that he could have cleaners come in twice a week to clean it out for you.
Well, I want the place to be spotless all the time, and I'd also like some pros to come in and cook for us every day so that our food is amazing. That should be perfect to him as well, right?
Well, what will you do for him, Anita?
I told him that I'll be his housewife and do the chores.
But you're wanting to have a cleaning service come in as well as pro chefs to cook dinner. From what I see, you're asking for him to give up all his money so that you and your mom can live like royalty while he works all day. That's why he left you, Anita.
What I asked from him is normal. He asked me to tell him what I valued and what I wanted, and I told him everything. I said that I'd do what I could do to support him as well.
Did you listen to what he wanted from you?
Of course I did!
Well, he told me that you didn't listen to anything he said to you.
He has to be BSing then.
He said that all you'd say to him is that he's a doctor, so he should be able to make himself happy and support himself, as well as you and your mom. He was tired of being with you because all you thought about was how with him being a doctor, it meant he could get you anything, and that you wanted everything from him.
But that's...
He has left you now, Anita, so can you please stop trying to talk about him like he's your fiancé?
Where is your wedding? He's the cousin of your fiancé, so he'll be there as well, right? I'm going to come to that wedding right now. I want for all of us, including my fiancé, to talk this over. And I'd like you to help me get back together with him.
You want my help?
If you can help us get married as well, then you and I can become cousins or something, right? We'll both become the wives of doctors. How about you and I get our husbands to build us one huge mansion of our dreams that we can all live in, including my mom?
I'm sorry, but I'm not telling you the location of my wedding. And it's getting time for the event to start anyway, so I'm going to need to get going. But let me tell you this one thing before I go. Your ex does not want to get back together with you, so leave him be.
You're telling me he doesn't want anything to do with me anymore? That's a straight up lie. Hold on a second, Megan. Megan, please answer your phone. I need your help.
There's nothing in this world that I'd be able to help you with, Anita.
Hurry up and get me back together with my ex right now.
I told you that that's going to never happen. He's over ever getting back together with you. So can you please just let him have the peace of mind that he deserves regarding you two?
If you don't get him to come back to me right now, I'm going to be screwed.
Screwed?
I need him to marry me right now so that he can pay off all the money that I owe.
What are you going on about now, Anita?
I am being told that I'm going to have to pay for the dress that I burnt, as well as pay off the settlement that's being asked from me. And the amount they want is massive. I'll never be able to handle all of this on my own.
But you're the one that chose to burn that dress to a crisp, right? It's only fair that they ask you to pay for their dress and whatever else they're upset about.
But that dress was custom made for the bride and tailored by a very famous man. And not only that, but my mom is going to get fired.
Well, that's because she helped you in burning up that dress, right?
Well, we only did that because we thought the dress was yours. Right now, neither of us are going to be able to pay off all this money. So I would like to meet my ex again and have him help us.
So you only want to get married to your ex now so that you can use his money to pay off the settlement you've been asked for?
He's a doctor, so something like that shouldn't be a problem for him, right?
I'm done with this. How much farther are you planning on being a problem for everyone? Because if you're going to take things any farther, I'll just block you and then you really will be without any help. But it's not like that would change anything because even now I have no desire to help you.
What? So you're totally okay with me losing all my money to a couple I don't know?
I do. And that's because you deserve all of that. You did all of this yourself with some help from your mom. So now you have to pay the price for it.
You're my friend though, right? You should be willing to help your friend out just a little, right?
Not only did you misunderstand everything like your mom, but you tried to burn the dress of your so-called friend. I do not need someone like you around me that thinks they can still be friends after that.
Don't say something like that to me. Right now, you haven't had to fall victim to anything, right?
It's not about me being a victim to anything involving all of this or not.
If nobody helps us, my mom and I are going to become homeless. Help us.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to cut all ties I have with you now. I can't be asked to deal with you any more than I already have. After this, the two of you figure something out by yourselves.
This has to be a joke, right? Wait, Megan! I was supposed to become the hot wife of a doctor, but now all my plans are falling apart.
After what had happened, both Anita and her mom tried going around to all their friends and family asking for money to help them out of the hole they were in. However, nobody had the money to help them with the debts they had and told them to find someone else to help them. In the end, they were forced to take out some loans by themselves and are using that money to pay off both the dress and the settlement for the ruined wedding. And to pay off those loans, they are both working completely new jobs, which mainly includes doing odds and ends work or being part-timers. And as for the relations they have between one another, their financial situation has really begun to ruin it, and they're left fighting one another day and night over who needs to be working more and paying more.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.